identify in that briefing four essential elements. One is the need to maintain political momentum by supporting the rebels in their offensive. Now that specifically means when a weapon becomes an available target being used by the regime, NATO will hit it. That doesn't mean that they're attacking, for example, Tripoli, because the use of air power in an urban area is always extremely difficult. Second, you're also seeing transition in action here. You're seeing a kind of negotiating going on with those elements that have been traditionally close to Gaddafi, but could we maybe convince that if they move over now, defect now, they might have a future in the successor government. The third element is that you've got the fog of war. Nobody actually knows what's going on right now. In terms of, clearly somebody important is being protected in that presidential compound. Whether it's Gaddafi or not is unclear. But the reference to a fallback position for those loyal to the regime suggests that they are trying to keep open an escape axis for somebody important in the compound. And, of course, the fourth element is that you're now dealing with the irreconcilable elements built around Saif al-Islam, who see no future whatsoever in any successor regime to Gaddafi, and they will fight to the end. And indeed, if not dealt with effectively, could well form the basis for a future insurgency against successor regimes. So this really is an extremely delicate and sensitive moment in the entire transition of power which we're observing today.
Julian, let's go back to this idea of urban warfare again. How hard is it for NATO to make strikes when there are rebels, pro-Gaddafi forces fighting like this in the streets?
It's extremely difficult. I mean, unless you've got boots on the ground, particularly when it comes to counter-sniper fire or counter-mortar fire, the use of air munitions, high explosives, even precision-guided munitions in an urban area always carries with it the risk of collateral damage, killing large numbers of civilians. And it's exactly that NATO wishes to avoid. We saw it in Iraq, we saw it in Afghanistan, that the media impact on the alliance can be enormous and very negative, and indeed on the international contact group, which after all is a loose coalition of fellow travellers supporting the opposition right now. So NATO is extremely keen to avoid any sense of killing civilians unnecessarily.